Welcome back to the EBB Stadium, home of home of Aldershot Town Football Club, and their first league game since that wonderful day on the 11th of May, which is June, July, August. Oh my goodness, over 3 months ago now. I'm Rob Worrell. Alongside me initially is Steve Gibbs. Steve, this is probably the last time we can mention Wembley before we really have to get our heads down and move on, don't we?
Do we have to? Surely we can. I've got a shoehorn under my desk. I'm going to try and work it in every opportunity I can. But yeah, it's great to be back in the arms of the old girl, the Ebb Stadium, and red and blue is flying high, as you would expect at the start of the season. It's been a difficult week for Aldershot Town, some good, some not so good, but I think they'd be looking to start their home league campaign with 3 points here this afternoon. It'll be very difficult. Boston themselves, even though they're belatedly starting their own league campaign because they were due to meet Morecambe last Saturday, they've had an excellent start to the season, evolved over the summer, lost some key players, but also recruited well. They were one of the success stories of the second half of last season. All seemed lost in January and then they turned it around. And 2 National League Cup wins, strong performances will have given them a lot of confidence, burgeoning momentum. They've got some key players in excellent form, and Aldershot Town will need to be at their best to get something this afternoon. Otherwise, it could be a repeat of what we saw here in April when Boston were the team that wanted it more, essentially, and took the 3 points back up to Lincolnshire.
Right, we'll come back to you again in a moment, Steve, to talk more about Aldershot Town, but having beautifully led us down the Boston United path, I'm going to introduce Christian James as well, who normally does what Craig Matthews does here, although Craig's not here today, and which is does the PA. He also does a bit of podcasting for a podcast called NL Full Time, which I happen to be on as well. Christian, thanks for coming. Welcome to the media box at Aldershot Town, and great to have your insight with us today. Excited for this new look Boston United side? Explain to the listeners why it's not the same team that survived so well last year.
Largely not by design, to be honest with you. We offered deals to a number of key performers, but they chose to go elsewhere. We lost Jay Rowe, who scored that winner, of course. He's gone north of the border up to Wraith Rovers. So yeah, it was the manager's choice, but he's got the chance to build the team in his own image now. A new start, Boston really stepping up from, as Aldershot will know, National League Cup football. It's kind of halfway between that pre-season feel and proper competitive football. So it's been a bit of a platform. Hopefully Boston can bounce on from it now, but yeah, we don't really know quite where we are until maybe 15-20 minutes in this afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you where you are. You're 15th without having kicked a ball yet, and you're above Aldershot, and you're in the same place you finished last year, 15th, which you were telling me off air is...
It's the highest we've been since we were relegated from the Football League, so an achievement that we haven't really earned, but we've got through not playing Morecambe. Certainly if we can get a positive result today and claim that, it'll be one to crow about. But no, Boston, a club on the up, clearly got the facilities to kick on now. Can we do it on the field after just about staying in the division last year?
That's it, and shots yet to beat Boston. 1-1 draw away last year, 2-1 defeat at home. And the other interesting thing is that Graham Coughlin, your manager, has been recruited by Aldershot's manager previously at Bristol Rovers. They know each other well.
Yeah, and I think they know exactly what style of play they're going to come up against as well. It's going to be an interesting battle between 2 former colleagues, 2 managers respected at this level, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see which style comes out on top. I know Tommy Witherington mentioned that in his pre-match. It might be a little bit of a contrast of styles, so it's going to be an interesting chess match. Boston edged it late last year. I felt they were poor first half and then did well second, but plenty of changes both ways this time around.
Okay, here come the teams. Thank you, Christian. More from Christian James throughout the afternoon. Welcome back to the EBB. Welcome back to National League football. Welcome back to our BBC Surrey sport listeners, and of course our DAZN or NLTV viewers. The shots are out in their red shirts, blue shorts and red socks, and Boston are out in their yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks. A smartened up EBB, new sponsors at the East Bank End. FA Trophy Champions 2025 is on, I think, Scotty Lorimer's latest banner at the East Bank End, and they're holding up a big banner of a trophy that Aldershot won as well. The shots line up this afternoon with Marcus Dewhurst in goal, Meerholt, Nightingale and Claridge, the back three, Hill, Widrington, Tetek and Mullins across the middle, with Barrett and Hargreaves in the number 10's position supporting Hadi Gandour in attack. And Boston United, we believe they'll line up in a similar formation, maybe one number 10 and two forwards. Reese Lovett in goal, Teal, Mills and Grist the centre backs, Lancashire, Sloggett, Richards and Cropper across the middle, with Hill in the 10 position behind Kieran Donnelly and Linnell John Lewis, who has a little bit of history against Aldershot Town every time he set foot on the pitch for York City.
Yep, he has an unfortunate habit from a shots perspective of
opening the shop at all hours.
Indeed, yes,
yeah.
And usually literally open all hours in injury time. I think he's popped up late a couple of times to break Aldershot Town hearts. That Aldershot Town defence, young as it is, obviously with the notable exception of Will Nightingale, will know they've been in a game. They will have to, and Nightingale will have to use all his experience and nous to keep John Lewis off the score sheet this afternoon. But for me, it's his strike partner Kieran Donnelly that Aldershot Town need to be wary of. He started the season on fire, looked like a real fox in the box. People at Boston, including the man to our right hand side, has likened him to a player who graced both teams, Boston and Aldershot, Mr. Ricky Miller. And at his best, he was the best at this level. He was unstoppable, a real goal poacher, prolific, with pace and movement and able to sniff out a half chance. And if Donnelly's on form today, he will be the striker that Aldershot Town need to most be wary of.
Brilliant stuff. That's Steve Gibbs. Alongside me, alongside him is Christian James to give us a Boston perspective. JB, not the only JB at the club anymore now Jack Barham's gone, because Josh Brookins here. Unfortunately out long-term injured, but Josh Barrett, Aldershot Town's number 10, is going to get the season underway here at the EBB. Aldershot are going to kick towards the High Street end in the first half. They've got their new red shirt with blue splashes on. Maybe we'll come up with a better word than splashes, I don't know, sorry, but blue shorts and red socks. Josh Barrett's going to take the kick-off. Looks to me like he's probably either going to go back to Dayan Tetek or Will Nightingale, who's making his home debut and his first competitive start for the Shots in the National League. He came on in the difficult circumstances last week when Ben Jackson went off with a facial injury. The curse of the Aldershot Town centre-back. Let's hope it doesn't strike again today. We're underway and Barrett misses out. Nightingale goes all the way back to Dewhurst, plays the ball down the right side and it will quickly find touch, so no early touch for Max Mullins for the Shots. Steve, there are a lot of people here, and I'm talking about from a Boston perspective as well. Really good turnout from them, 300 plus potentially, and a great atmosphere, and Aldershot Town supporters can do no more to do their bit for the team.
Absolutely, yeah, great atmosphere at the start. Once again, Scott Lorimer and the East Bank boys doing the club proud with their pre-match display. Not just me or us reminding us of the FA Trophy victory, but yeah, fantastic travelling support. Lots of colour, lots of noise in the away end come down from Lincolnshire, and certainly I'm sure their team will do them proud as well this afternoon.
47 seconds, Steve, went into the new season at the EBB without mentioning the FA Trophy win. I mean, it is literally the last thing Aldershot Town need to have on their minds today, for sure. But for those supporting the red and blue, of course, it felt like a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and it may well prove to be. Here, in possession, 4 shots is Claridge, no, not Steve, James. And that took me 1 minute 25 to mention that in the first home commentary of the season. Here's Boston playing it forward. Claridge jumps with John Lewis. I think Claridge won it, but it ended up at Tetek, who's getting a second header now. Cushions his second header better than he did the first. Claridge lifts it forward. Hadi Gandor chases. It's hooked into touch by Boston. Great to see Hadi Gandor start in the first home game of the season. We know what he did in this game last year. He scored 2 goals in a 3-3 draw against Forest Green. That was on the back of lots of good performances, but no goals in pre-season. This time, if you count the National League Cup in the week, he comes into it with 6 goals already. And frankly, he's just got it going in front of goal more than the new signing Tristan Abrahams has, who probably will have visualised making his home debut today, but if he does, he'll have to do it from the bench.
Yeah, I think maybe Tristan is suited to coming on against maybe a tiring defence. Hadi, for me,
always a loose ball here for Boston on the edge of the area. Let's just pick up the commentary. Twisting, turning. It's that man Donnelly sends it out to the right hand side. It's cleared away initially and then put behind by Theo Widrington for a corner. First corner of the game to Boston United. Finish your point if you want, Steve, just be quick.
Yeah, just going to say, Hadi, he almost needs to play between the posts. He's too hard working, he's too willing a runner for his own good. He needs to become selfish to get the goals that we know he's got in him. Excellent play from Dylan Hill, another player who maybe doesn't have the end product that his work rate deserves, but he's won Boston an early corner.
We'll try and be clear today when we mention Dylan Hill or Ryan Hill. One's on either side. Corner then to be taken by Greg Sloggett. It's a right-footed out swinger. It's cushioned header away by Tetek, chased down by Hargreaves. He won't get there though. Shot comes in from Boston player Ben Grist, I think it was.
I think you're being kind in calling it a shot as well, to be honest.
Yeah, he just kind of lifted it and Dewhurst just caught it. Ball up towards Gandor, holds off his man. Legally, according to our referee, who is Ross Martin. There's a good ball down the left channel. The shop, as we'll call him for speed, sends it inside. Oh, they're going to pick it up here. Sloggett inside the penalty, tries to get a shot away. It's weak and it's fallen upon by Marcus Dewhurst, who goes with the early kick to the other end. Gandor will chase. It'll bounce once and fine touch. Throw into Boston just outside their own penalty area. And 4 minutes and 10 seconds in, for the first time, I can come to our Boston spokesman for the day, Christian James. High tempo start, you'd expect nothing less.
Absolutely, and I think where that chance has come from shows you where Boston need to be smarter, because first couple of minutes there was a huge gap between the midfield and the 2 up front. Well, that time it was Sloggett and Dylan Hill that both got forward to support John Lewis. He rolled it inside and the 2 midfielders almost combined for the game's opening goal. Donnelly alive to the parry from Dewhurst, but he gathered before he could get his foot in, and it remains 0-0.
Thank you, Christian. Boston have got it on the right hand side with John Lewis, sends it in, missed by the defender Will Nightingale, or left possibly for Dewhurst, who throws it out quickly to Cameron Hargreaves. He scurries inside with the ball, goes back to his skipper Theo Widrington, who sends it out to the left. Ryan Hill really impressed me at Altrincham. Ryan Hill, I'd seen a bit of him in pre-season, not too much. He hadn't stood out, but particularly his defensive showing us in the left wing back position there last Saturday. Aldershot have lost the ball, won it back with Barrett. Barrett holds it up, twists one way then the other, sends it back to Will Nightingale. He plays it on the floor to Hargreaves. Hargreaves can't quite get it under control. Donnelly's onto it. He's running towards the penalty area, ball into the box. Ooh, it falls kindly for Meerholz to clear, and then Sloggett can only send the header into the path of Max Mullins, and he plays it forward. Mills comes across to poke it into touch in front of Gandor. A very experienced Zach Mills, Christian, who's approaching a milestone, isn't he, for Boston?
Yeah, he's getting towards 200 appearances for the club. That should come up in early September. across 2 spells. He came from Histon when they were in the conference, as it was then, the Conference Premier. Came down to Boston in the Conference North with his manager Dennis Green. Left for Pastures New, Grimsby, Morecambe, Port Vale, all in the Football League. Returned 3 seasons ago, kept us up, got us up, and then kept us up again. So a really busy 3 seasons back for Zach Mills, and he's now captain with Michael Boswick having departed.
If you've joined us late, that's Christian James. He's making a third wheel in our commentary team today. So we should stay on the road just about. We almost had a fourth because Tyler Frost came sniffing around the media box just before the game, and he loves a bit of commentary, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I think Sam Carter, the Aldershot Town media manager, is feeling under threat. the way Tyler was handling media duties during pre-season.
Yeah, he's a born media maestro once his footballing career is done, but hopefully he's got a few more years in him.
He's still a very young man.
He is a very young man, although one of the older ones in the Aldershot team. Here's a ball breaking kindly inside the penalty area for Boston. They square it. It's half cleared, and Tetek will run onto the loose ball. Sends it out to the right side for a ball for Hadi Gandor to chase. Holds it up, turns inside, goes back to his skipper, who is under a challenge from behind. Little coming together off the ball. Referee spotted it. Theo Widrington just lifted his arm back a little bit there into Dylan Hill, and the referee's kind of let things go, but needs to be careful, Theo Widrington, because unfortunately, as combative as he is, he's also an easy target for officials based on his disciplinary record. Here's Meerholtz inside to Gandor, nice control, finds that man Theo Widrington, carrying it, ball to the edge of the area to Hargreaves, and he's just offside. Interesting change this season, early doors anyway, Steve, to Cameron Hargreaves. He's always been one of the 2 in midfield, but maybe because of his sheer pace, tenacity, maybe because Aldershot perhaps have a little bit more strength in depth in the centre of midfield this year. He's looked pretty good, particularly away at Dorking pre-season as one of the 210s pressing. As a defender, you don't want him snapping away at your heels, do you?
Absolutely not, no, and it's something that is a strength in both teams, that they press high, try to win the ball back high and create chances from that. And certainly Cameron Hargreaves, he had a horrible aberration on Wednesday night against Brighton and Hove Albion, scoring an own goal, but otherwise he is Mr. Consistency, and certainly his energy, his work rate will be an asset whatever position it is, whether it's a deep lying midfielder or one of the number 10s alongside Josh Barrett.
Here's Boston playing it forward, calmly cut out by Will Nightingale. He sends it forward. Theo Widrington with a knockdown, and then cleared forward by Connor Teal. Oh, not the best of touches by Will Nightingale, but he recovers well. He can only steer it though to Dylan Hill. Hill out to the right hand side where Grist is making an overlapping run. Cross comes in, bullet header from Linnell John Lewis, and he does it again. He scores against Aldershot Town every time he plays, and this time round he's got 90 minutes at least. Doesn't take him long though, 9.5 minutes in. Cross in from the right, John Lewis meeting at the near post, powerful header, no chance for Dewhurst. Aldershot Town 0, Boston United 1. Christian, I'll come to you first.
Well, the warning signs have been there, hadn't they? We'd seen 2 or 3 balls into the box, largely from the right hand side. They'd come in at ankle height. This one perfect for John Lewis to head in, and for once it was John Lewis in the box. He'd created a couple of early chances out wide, but a fantastic overlap by Ben Grist, the right centre back, supporting the attack. Hill spread the play, wicked ball across the 6-yard box, and I've not seen much of that on John Lewis in a Boston shirt yet, but you know he's not going to miss a chance like that. I do feel the Pilgrims probably deserved that, albeit they hadn't forced Dewhurst into any saves in the first 10 minutes, but there it is. First chance gobbled up. The Shop opened his account last week. He's up and running in the league now.
Yeah, it's tremendous finish from Aldershot Town's point of view, Steve, defensively. It was a little too easy. Christian, when he rocked up today, he said if Aldershot want to play a game where we send crosses into the box, we could quite fancy that, and his words have been backed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Boston have started really well, really positively, and you can't give a striker like Linnell John Lewis those sort of chances. It was a free header from, if it was 6 yards out, I'd be surprised. It was excellent delivery from Grist. I suspect that Boston have watched the National League Cup game against Brighton from Wednesday night. Brighton built overloads constantly all night on the right hand side, exposed Jed Meerholtz through no fault of Meerholtz's own, but he was left exposed, and too often Brighton were able to get balls into the box. Boston have repeated that this afternoon in the first 10 minutes, and immediately it's borne fruit.
Not the start the shots wanted, or the shots faithful. 11 and a half minutes gone. 1-0 then to the Pilgrims. Here's a ball into the box from Theo Widrington. It will just bounce through all the way to Reece Lovett in the Boston goal. I think Boston as a team quite like coming up against Aldershot. We can see that evidence of last season. But for Linnell John Lewis, it would have been like a kid in a sweet shop, excuse the pun, knowing that the season was eventually starting here. It just gives you that extra feeling as a player when you play in a team or at a place where you score. And my goodness me, he didn't need a second invitation. Oh, Tetek goes down here, and very, very late the referee blows to give Aldershot a free kick. Has to be said after it wasn't given, and then Tetek fouled the Boston player, and then the referee gave the free kick to Aldershot. It was almost like he had a delayed reaction in his brain. Anyway, here's Claridge playing the ball forward. Gandor jumps with Mills. Though those as a pair, Mills opponents, they're kind of a bit isolated from everybody else at times. Mullins takes another foul from behind by Alex Lancashire. Theo Widrington sends the ball down the line to Gandor, who's having a good battle against Mills. And this time Mills prods it into touch for the throw. Aldershot Town 0, Boston United 1. Tommy Widrington will not want to lose out to Graham Coughlin again. Not after losing at home to him here. I was chatting to him at one point last year, and he said there's very few teams or managers he's come up against consecutively and lost. And so that's what's on the line here today. Obviously he believes that Graham Coughlin's a very good manager, otherwise he wouldn't have employed him when he was Bristol Rovers recruitment. But here's Aldershot on the attack. Tetek plays it forward, it's cut out. And Aldershot showed glimpses of what they can do last week at Altrincham, but admittedly from 2-0 down, and when they got back level to 2-2 they conceded again. They will have been hoping for and wanted a better start to this game. Strong challenge there, halfway inside the Boston half. A lot of calls from the North Stand, Steve, for a yellow card. I think a lot of that's borne out by just how frustrating the start's been for Aldershot. I think the referee, Ross Martin, sensibly keeping his cards in his pocket at this point.
Yeah, I think so. I think that looked worse than it was. There was a lot of limbs flying, but it was a foul from Greg Sloggett, absolutely, but it wasn't worthy of any further sanction. Gandor against Mills is already proving to be one of the game's key battles. Hargreaves against Sloggett likewise.
Barrett with the ball in, headed away, helped on by Boston. They might have a counter-attack on here. Hill goes in for the ball and he arrives late, and he might well get the first yellow card of the game. In fact he is. He's going to have to chase after Hill, who's given it the old pretending that if he gives the referee longer he won't get his card out. I don't think there's any qualms for me on that one. It was potentially a crucial counter-attack for Boston, and Hill went to ground and he was late, Steve, and it's a yellow card all day long, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think Ryan knew exactly what he was doing there. He was gonna stop that counter-attack whatever way he could, and if that meant picking up a yellow card, then so be it. Boston are looking really dangerous. They're looking full of aggression, pace, organisation. At the moment, Aldershot Town are second best, and that's being kind.
1-0 to the Pilgrims here. Southend are 1-0 up against Tamworth. Charlie Kendall with another goal. And earlier on today, Rochdale came from behind at home to Altrincham to win 2-1 with a couple of goals from Alarakri, or maybe the second was a Tyler Golden own goal. Hill, who gave the free kick away, heads it away out to the right hand side, where Boston can just let it run into touch on halfway for their throw, and they can now, when they choose to, just slow things down, just run the clock down a little bit, and why wouldn't they? Because They've come in good number of yellow and black shirted supporters as well, and they've got what they wanted, which is an early goal. Here the ball comes off a Boston player. Well, we could see, I don't think the assistant referee on the far side could see as clearly as we could. Came off a Boston player, but it's a Boston throw, and it's level with the edge of the penalty area. And who's that, Christian, who's setting up to take it?
It's Cropper, our new long throw.
Jordan Cropper, of course, I should have known. In it comes to the area, headed away by Claridge. Hills then onto it and gets caught as he clears it forward. And it is a free kick to Aldershot on the edge of their own penalty area. We've had very nearly 17 minutes of play here. I'd say the ball's been in play for a good 15 of it as well. It's been quite intense, end-to-end stuff, but Boston with the one clear-cut chance so far, and they've scored. Here's Mills stretching every sinew to get on the end of that, and he does, and he wins it and finds Lancashire. Aldershot pushing hard. John Lewis holds it up, turns inside. Oh, lovely feint touch to Sloggett. Sloggett makes ground, carries it into the centre circle, spreads it out to the right hand side to Cropper. Cropper has got Grist going outside the right of him. He looks set for a cross into the box here. That comes off an Aldershot Town player as well, and this time they give the goal kick. Well, there you go. 1-1 on wrong decisions in the last 5 minutes. Whether they did it deliberately or not, Steve, I don't know. I'm not sure they do, because they're being assessed, and every mistake an official makes, goes against them, doesn't it?
Yeah, for me that was definitely a corner, and I think Christian agrees. No red and blue or gold and black spectacles here. That was just a corner, plain and simple.
Boston are dominating this. They're winning the ball back too easily, and Aldershot Town, a bit like we were saying early on last week, need to stay in the game. They went 2-0 down in the first 20 minutes last week. In comes a cross. Dewhurst can't get there. It's half cleared. He wanted a foul, nothing given. And then a horrible challenge on Ryan Hill, and that has to be at least the first yellow card of the afternoon for Boston. And it is Jordan Cropper who comes, and referee Ross Martin, who refereed in League 2 last weekend and showed 6 yellow cards, which sounds a lot, but it's par for the course these days, has unfortunately for him had to show 2 in the first 20 minutes. Let me go to Christian on this. Christian, any complaints from you on that one?
No, it was a challenge. I can understand why Cropper felt he had to make. He did come in a little hard, and certainly that's going to be a booking, albeit high up the pitch. Had he won it, I think he was going to play Dylan Hill in again, but no, probably one that you want him to take as a Boston follower, but on that occasion second best, and again, like the first one, really no complaints. We'll
keep an eye on that battle between those two out on the far side, Ryan Hill and Jordan Cropper, because they're up against each other and they're both on a yellow card now. Here's Boston just shepherding the ball through Lancashire behind the goal at the High Street end, the Mike Pusey community stand end at the High Street. He does so successfully. It'll be a goal kick to the Pilgrims, who lead after 19 and a half minutes by 1-0. I've seen at least one more goal flash up in the National League, and I believe it's gone to Gateshead. 1-0 up away at Eastleigh, who might well, in our little gamble we have on NL full time, who's going to be the first manager to lose his job. Kelvin Davies, I think, was a lucky boy to still have one at the start of this season. 1 defeat and 1-0 down. Early days, of course. Here's Will Nightingale, stopped in possession by Linnell John Lewis, but he wins it back and finds Cameron Hargreaves. Hargreaves sends it out to the right side to Gandor. He's into the penalty area, tries a shot. Oh, is it just tipped over the bar? No hand, no fingertips. Goal kick given. Rising shot from Paddy Gandor, and Steve, understandably, with the goals he's scored in pre-season, although, as you rightly say, he's working the channels hard, he managed to cut inside there and get Aldershot Town's first effort of any kind in the 21st minute. 1-0 Boston. Yeah, it was a good effort from Haddy, but I think always rising over the crossbar. Would have taken something special to beat Reece Lovett from that angle. Maybe he would have been better going low across goal to try and sneak it in at the far post. In the end, Lovett was able to fling up a hand as it flew over the bar, but yeah, that's what you need. Hargreaves breaking through midfield, breaking the lines and feeding Gandor in the channels. Here come Boston with that man. Donnelly shoots. Oh my goodness me, I'm following the trace of the ball and I was expecting to see that net riddle, and it's a bit of an optical illusion. Christian, you said this, I think your face tells us the same thing here. How did that not go in?
I'm quite confused what's happened there.
I think he's gone past the near post and it's come around the back of the goal.
Without making any impact on the net. Real strange one, probably just the angle we're sat at, but that's the sort of opportunity Donnelly's going to want, and we saw twice in midweek he just lifted it over the goalkeeper. Dewhurst stood his ground that time, didn't give him the chance that Mahadi of Leeds was, but no, another good opening for the Pilgrims.
Yeah, absolutely, big chance. His the number 4, Connor Teal, former Altrincham centre-back, who's signed for 2 more years, so Coughlin must know what he's got with him. And the shots living dangerously at back, Steve, from words I've said to you on countless occasions over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's just par for the course for Aldershot Town under Tommy Widdrington, but yeah, they need to get a foothold in this game pretty quickly, because at the moment it's all Boston.
Oh, good ball in from Claridge. Mills heads it away only as far as Barrett on the edge of the area, exactly where you'd want him to pick him up. Twists, turns one way, gets a shot in left-footed. It's on target, and it's easy save for Reece Lovett. But Aldershot Town's first shot on target at home this season, coming in 22nd minute. 22 was on the clock at the time. Good work from Barrett, always popping up in those sort of areas. Here's Aldershot on the attack again. Gandor sends the ball round the corner to Hargreaves. Hargreaves recognises that Mullins is free on the outside of him. Turns it inside. Heavy touch from Theo Widdrington, but he pokes it back to Claridge. Claridge looks to pull it back, and it's blocked behind by Connor Teal. An opportunity from a miscontrolled ball, but it doesn't matter how it comes, it just needs to come for shots, Steve.
Yeah, shots lifting it in the last couple of minutes, much needed. Not yet found that final ball, that real moment of attacking spark, but at least they're starting to impose themselves on this game and ask some questions belatedly of the Boston defence.
Okay, corner then to be taken, right-footed outswinger by Barrett, headed away at the near post by Grist. It's going to come back to Barrett. He's got Cameron Hargreaves there if he wants. He fires him, sends it in, half cleared, and then literally slogged clear by Greg into the touch. Throw into Aldershot in front of the media stand here. Hill fetches it but leaves it for Josh Barrett, and Josh Barrett sends it to Mullins, who quickly gives it back to him. Now he lifts the ball over the top. Hargreaves tries to take it on his chest. Mills reads it well and volleys clear. Comes back and then is sent forward again, and John Lewis tries to hook it over his head, looking for Donnelly. Christian, have those two been pairing up in the pre-season? I know you mentioned that Donnelly's all over the goals, isn't he? And the shop opened his account last week. But of the 4 strikers you've got, aside from Hazel, who's out long term, are they the obvious 2 to start today?
There was a big debate really. We started with Jordi Harula and John Lewis in midweek, and Harula finally signed terms after playing a couple as a trialist. But no, John Lewis missed all but the first and last of pre-season, so we haven't seen much of these 2 up to now. They look to have a good understanding.
Here they got the ball on the edge of the area, Boston. Thank you, Christian. That's Christian James, Boston's PA announcer. Also Boston Stats on Twitter, and a regular member of the NL Full-Time podcast team. Boston have put it into touch on the far side, and Aldershot have taken the throw and gone back inside all the way to Marcus Dewhurst. Just over the halfway point, so we get Steve Gibbs' views in a little while as the ball goes through. Oh, do it now, Steve. Ball's gone through to Reece Lovett. So 25 minutes gone, 1-0 to Boston. Deservedly ahead?
Absolutely, yeah. I think they've started really strongly, positively, dominating by and large in pretty much every area of the pitch. Only belatedly have the shots come into it, and Maxi Mullins is making ground down the right.
Sends it in, Hargreaves takes it inside the penalty area, does well, gets the shot away, it's into the side netting. That's a bit more like it for Aldershot Town. Goal kick to Boston, but 25 and a half minutes gone, and Cameron Hargreaves coming a little bit closer for the shots.
Yeah, much better again from the shots. Certainly much improved in the last 5 minutes or so. Not really tested Reece Lovett yet, but getting closer, showing signs that they're growing into this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Boston have scored with their first effort and they've looked dangerous, but from 21 minutes to 26, I've got 3 chances for the shots. So they just really are coming back into this. Gandor's rising shot just over. Claridge getting to the byline, and it was obviously not a clear-cut effort on goal, but it was blocked behind for a corner. And then Hargreaves control and shot there into the side netting. Can Boston respond at the other end? Here they play the ball in, take brilliant take and turn from Donnelly. He's rushing away with the ball and it breaks clear, and Dewhurst got it. That was lovely, really imaginative play from Donnelly. Aldershot again trying the early ball through the middle. Again it's one in the air by Grist. Theo Widrington arrives very late. That's going to be at least a yellow. The referee signals the wrong way. The Boston players surround the referee, something that you're not allowed to do this year. In fact, the Aldershot players have as well. Mistimed challenge from Theo Widrington, and he's been shown a straight red by referee Ross Martin. There is no doubt that it was out of control. Was it severe enough for a red or not? Well, the referee thinks so. Steve Gibbs, your honest opinion?
I'm not surprised that the ref has given a red for that one. Theo, you could see as Theo went for that ball, he sensed it was there to be won, but he was wild. You could say it was a bit reckless. It was certainly off the ground. I think the way the Boston player was sent spinning onto the ground, I'm not surprised that it's a red. I think it's maybe one of those non-existent orange cards where it's more than a yellow, but yeah, I'm not surprised. I think Theo gave the referee the opportunity to make a decision. Whether it's the right one or not, only the referee will know, because he was closer to it.
Okay.
But Theo has given him the opportunity, whether to make a mistake or to upgrade the decision from a yellow to a red. It's pointless now. It is a red, and it's not a significant enough of an error for you to go, well, I don't think it should be a red.
I don't think Aldershot Town will be appealing that, to be honest with you. I'll get Christian's opinion in just a second. What I will say is, a yellow card's been shown to a player on either side so far. Still, the game, the tenacity of the game, the intensity level's been high. That tackle was worse than the other two that got yellows. That I'm confident on. Christian, over to you. Your thoughts?
My initial reaction was it was late. The referee gave himself time, and as the referee gave himself time, I was sort of thinking that was actually quite high, and you tend to get in serious trouble for that. It wasn't that immediate visceral reaction of that's disgusting, get him sent off, but the more you think about it, the more, yes, that is the sort of challenge that the players' afternoon's ended with. Thankfully Sloggett's okay. I'm not saying for a minute that Boston got Widrington sent off there. I think he's managed to do that himself, but he is a player who 10-15 minutes ago you identified has got that in his game, and the referees set his level, as you say, with those early bookings, one apiece. That's a step up. It was high and out of control, and you don't tend to stay on the pitch after one of those.
Aldershot Town were up against it. Now the mountain in front of him looks even steeper. Ball into the box, headed on by Lancashire, punched away by Dewhurst, and then what a tackle from Lancashire to take the ball clean off of Mullins, sends the ball into the air, headed away by Nightingale. Barrett finds Tetek. One thing I can tell you now, Christian, even when he goes down to 10 men, Tommy Widrington will always leave presence up front. Good knockdown from Claridge, finds Hill to Barrett. Aldershot are going to have to work harder to find available men, but they're doing so well early on. Here's Claridge, sends the ball into Gandor, gets the ball back to goal, looks to square it across, cleared away by a Boston defender. Throw in taken quickly by Aldershot. Mullins to Gandor and back to Mullins. Now back to Claridge. Claridge exchanges passes with Hargreaves. Now the ball up to Gandor, holding the ball up inside the penalty area, plays it across to Mullins. Mullins tries to get his cross in. That's blocked. Lancashire will clear it forward. Barrett will block it down. Goal kick to Boston, and we've just seen some footage of the challenge. It's very high off of the ground, the challenge from Theo Widrington. But to be fair, I don't think between the three of us, we'll always try and give our objective view. It was difficult to defend that should have only been a yellow. I think that's what we've concluded, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The word I've written down is wild. I think it was. You could see what Theo was trying to do. Maybe he was over ambitious in the tackle. He was always stretching for it and reaching for it. And yeah, it was difficult enough, 11 against 11. Now Aldershot Town have given themselves a mountain to climb, and it looks like they might well have switched to a back four with Meerholtz more as a...
Ryan Hill
has moved forward to more into midfield. Cameron Hargreaves has dropped back. I think it's going to have to be fluid, as you say. Players are going to have to cover. They're going to have to cover more ground and work harder than they otherwise would have been 11 against 11, because Boston are a lively enough proposition when there's no numerical advantage.
Yeah, I was just going to say Ryan Hill was desperately complaining he'd been fouled there, nothing given. The play's continued a little bit anyway while Steve was talking. The ball's now in touch. It's a Boston throw, halfway inside their own half. Mills is going to take it. It's just checking with the assistant referee where they're going to take it from. Christian, just coming to you briefly. Half an hour gone, you're 1-0 up. Aldershot are down to 10. Couldn't have gone much better, could it?
No, it's a nice start to the season, isn't it? I think thinking of your Aldershot audience, what would encourage me from a shots point of view is the joy you've had down the attacking right side. I think that's the route in. Lancashire's coming quite centrally to try and cover and leaving space down this right for Mullins, if they can find the man clear when they get the ball in the centre of the park.
Here's Boston playing it around on the edge of the penalty area. Hill's going to send the ball back now to John Lewis. He tries a 1-2 into the area. That's well read by Nightingale, and he carries the ball and then sends it straight to Hill. Ball comes in, a little bit of a ricochet on it, headed away by Tetek. Hargreaves battling for it, but Lancashire sends it back to Hill. Lovely looking cross, but snaffled at the near post by Marcus Dewhurst. And Boston now, of course, when they attack, they can keep two players back on Hadi Gandor, and there's no chance of that 50-50 early ball. In it comes now. Mills again reads it better than Gandor. Meerholtz is on to that next ball, and then Gandor jumps with Mills. Neither can win it clearly. Meerholtz heads it back. It's not strong enough to go all the way back to Dewhurst. Nightingale helps it on quite a pace. There's a lovely knockdown by Gandor. He's got the ball in his stride, running into the edge of the penalty area. Sends it inside, little touch. It's missed by Hill. He goes down. No foul given, and rightly so. He was looking for that one there. Boston have got it. They've played it forward, and I'm not quite sure why the assistant referee's got his flag up.
I think offside about an inch inside the Aldershot Town defensive half.
Wow, to a player that he didn't go anywhere near to. I mean, that's staggering. But every time I just feel I understand these offside rules, they change them. But anyway, we're back over halfway. 34 minutes gone. Shots 1-0. Boston 1. Claridge with the ball forward into Gandor, and he's given offside. Back to goal just inside the penalty area, and well, we've seen a pretty frenetic first half, but for all the noise, for all the intensity, only two things matter. That's the scoreline, 1-0 Boston, and the number of players on the pitch, 11-10 to Boston. Goal kick to be taken, or free kick rather, to be taken by Reece Lovett out to the left side. Comes off of a shots player into touch. Throw into Boston, halfway inside the Aldershot Town half. Few score updates in a moment or two from the National League. Here, Boston are ahead by a 1-0. The goal coming in just the 9th minute from Linnell John Lewis. Here is Grist. Is he going to try a shot from distance? He's carrying it to the edge of the area. Now he sends it in, and it's volleyed wide by Donnelly, who was not quite able to match his pre-season form there. But again, a little bit too easy, Steve, for Boston to create a chance.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's no surprise that Boston's wing backs, the same as Aldershot Town, They like to get forward. Ben Grist loves to get forward. He's shown in the 2 National League Cup games already, that particularly against Leeds United in midweek, that he's a real enterprising, ambitious, attacking winger, and good delivery on the run. Donnelly has got that anticipation, that ability to create something from nothing, and yeah, at the moment Aldershot Town need to get a grip.
Here's Barrett coming over halfway, poor ball inside, but it's made into a good one by Hargreaves. Now Claridge plays it up. He's not going to find Barrett or Gandor. Boston have won it again, and then a misplaced pass under pressure from Boston, but Christian, come to you for a second. Boston player down, injured, can't see his shirt number. It's not Hill, is it?
It's Teal, Connor Teal, the number
Teal,
4.
sorry.
And he doesn't look too happy. I've not seen him on the end of anything. He's holding this left ankle. You mentioned a centre-back injury curse at Aldershot. Well, you maybe have passed it on to the Pilgrims here.
Yeah, I think I was looking to see if there was an exchange with the management elsewhere, just to see if it was one of those strategic injuries, but it isn't. It's a genuine one, and Connor Teal, who looked to move backwards onto Lankshire's pass, which, to be fair, I think he'd have struggled to get on anyway, unless, to give Lankshire some credit, he saw that Teal was struggling and put it into touch. I think he might have done, actually. Any problems in pre-season for Teal, or is this something he's picked up today?
It'll be something from today. He's been a pretty consistent feature of pre-season. I think he is going to carry on. Looking at the options for Boston on the bench, they've already lost a left-sided defender in Michael Kelly during pre-season. Jacob Scott's a young deputy. He's also out injured. I think if he was to go off, you'd probably see winger Rocco Coyle slot in at the left side. And given I've already identified that as an area Aldershot have done really, really well down the attacking right, worry whether it's a half-injured Teal or a replacement coming on, that might bear fruit for the Shots.
Yeah, I don't think Aldershot are seeing this as a deliberate pass into touch. They're going to take the throw in, and to be honest, I don't really blame them, because it's not clear whether it was a misplaced pass or it was put into touch. Here's Hargreaves touching the ball back to Mullins. He goes back to Claridge, who feeds Nightingale, and he'll send it across to Meerholtz, who can make a few yards forward if he wants, but he elects to go for Hill out on the left hand side. 38 minutes gone, Shots 0, Pilgrims 1. Ball forward from Shots, rather easily won by Boston in the air. Donnelly holds it up, twists, turns, falls over himself, and then still gets the ball forward. Meerholtz is onto it. He can't keep it in play. It's a throw into Boston on halfway. And a challenge in half-time coming up, Steve, for Tommy Widrington, because once again he won't be happy with what he's seen in the first half, but somehow or other he's got to encourage, entice, cajole more out of his team, either the ones on there or the ones he brings on, and he's got to do so with them down to 10 men as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you could possibly bring on Kwame Thomas, Tristan Abrahams in attack, but yeah, I think the team need to lift themselves out of this problem.
Ball in from the right from Boston, which is brushed off a Shots player, I think, because it's been given as a corner. It is difficult to tell here, stuff that goes on away to left. For those that don't know, we're positioned about 15-20 yards into the right hand half of the pitch, but no complaints from the Shots players, so a clear corner then for Boston. Sloggett's going to take it. He's already putting his 2 arms in the air, and yeah, go on, Christian, make a quick point. Sorry,
I was going to say, I think this will be a deep corner. They've tried peeling off in pre-season.
Yeah, and it comes low actually to the edge of the area, and it's picked up by Zach Mills, who's going to send it back out to Sloggett. One touch onto his right foot, sends in a nice curling ball, and it's lifted over at the near post by Lankshire. And again, well, maybe it wasn't, because again it's been given as a corner, but it looked to me like Lankshire stuck his left leg out, and then it went behind for a goal kick. But anyway, no complaints again, so there's obviously stuff they can see down there that we can't. It's taken short this time to the shot, back to Sloggett, cross comes in, diving Shots player tries to meet it, it's half cleared, ball turned around the corner, claims for a handball, nothing given, ball's up to Barrett, and eventually the referee stops play for a potential head injury to James Claridge. Aldershot Town centre back down potentially injured, but getting to his feet as if he's not going to receive treatment, but the referee's already signalled for the physio to come on. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, I think it's a bang to the head. Physio needs to come on and certainly make sure that Claridge is okay. Yeah, Josh Barrett was frustrated that he was trying to both launch a counter-attack and that he was being buffeted as he met the clearance near the halfway line. But yeah, I think it is a little bit of a stick or twist moment for Tommy Widrington. Boston, particularly down the right-hand side, have had great joy, but it's also shown signs that Ryan Hill is looking to push on to augment that depleted Aldershot Town midfield and attacking areas, and he needs to use that. He needs to work that wing-back role, equally be a winger and a full-back, because at the moment Jed Meerholtz is getting a little bit exposed at times, with Hill committed up into attack, and Boston are recognising that.
Yep. Just to be clear, as Steve hinted at already, Hargreaves has literally slotted in where Widrington was. So Aldershot are playing with one number 10 and one striker now, the number 10 being the number 10 Barrett, and Hadi Gandor staying up on the end of the defensive line. One or two more goals to tell you about in the National League. Gateshead have doubled their lead at Eastleigh. Telford and Adom with the goals for them. Hartlepool have taken the lead against Braintree, 1-0 there. Scunthorpe 2-0 up against Woking, and Southend still 1-0 up against Tamworth. It's 1-1 between Wealdstone and Halifax. Truro against York kicks off later, and Boreham Wood have gone 1-0 up at Carlisle. There's a proper National League scoreline. Right, okay. Boston now with the throw on the left-hand side. Cropper's come over to take it, so that tells you one thing. It's going to be a long throw into the heart of the Shots area. Shots already 1-0 down and a man down. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left of this first half. Dummy run out of the area from Sloggett. He's tracked by Barrett. Referee says, hang on, I'm not ready for you to take it yet. I don't know what he's waiting for. Now he blows his whistle. In it comes from Cropper, and it's met at the near post, half cleared. A little toe away from Hill. Barrett sends it out to the left side looking for Gandor, and it very nearly goes all the way through, but Jordan Richards got a vital foot on it, and in the end it goes all the way back to Dewhurst. Gandor lifted his head up to the skies, Steve, as if to suggest that Richards had done well to get that touch, and it was almost creeping through to him, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Richards did well to bring it down first time. The dropping ball, if it had squirmed off his foot, Hadi was in.
Tetek does well twice in between. Zach Mills heads it away. Here Ryan Hill heads it inside towards Cameron Hargreaves. Shots thinking maybe a foul on Hadi Gandor by Mills, but nothing given. They kept possession. Meerholtz and Hargreaves exchange passes. I think quite often when one or two key decisions have been given against your side, rightly or wrongly, the fans tend to shout for everything, and especially home fans, and I think that's what the Shots fans have been doing today. They've been appealing for one or two free kicks that I didn't think were. That's good control by Hill, sends it out to Barrett, who then sends it further right to Mullins. He's going to go up against Lancashire, plays the ball into Hill, who, as you rightly say, Steve, just wandering inside now and again. Here's Tetek. Barrett back to Tetek on his left foot, twists, turns, comes back on his right foot, wide to Hill. Hill plays it back to Claridge. They can't quite create the opening Aldershot. They're looking to find an overload, and it's difficult to do when you've got 10 men against 11. Here's Hargreaves shaping to go one way then the other, and in the end he has to go back to Dewhurst because his Boston marker didn't fall for it. So we're going to have 6 added minutes here in the first half. Again, strong appeals for the Shots faithful for a foul on Hill, and referee Ross Martin just shrugs his shoulders and his head. I think, Steve, he's one of those refs that the more a team and the fans get onto him, the less he gives them. Do you feel that as well?
Possibly. I think he's also just giving them on merit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any decision really that I would argue with so far.
Okay, here's Mullins on the right hand side, goes back to Tetek. Tetek with the ball through, it's looking for Gandor, he can't get onto it. And I have to say, Mills will have had more difficult afternoons where he's getting pulled around by a couple of strikers and not sure who to mark. But Christian, he's been marking Hadigandor, who's had a really good pre-season and looks pretty mobile out there. But Mills is coming out on top, isn't he? And he's such a calming influence on the back line for Boston, isn't he?
He's been there, done that, Zach Mills. He has got experience that none of the others possess, and a voice as well.
Oh, there's a late take from Linnell John Lewis, and then a coming together between Claridge and John Lewis. Referee's seen it as a foul to Boston. Claridge needs treatment. John Lewis doesn't. The physio is halfway on for Boston. He's been sort of told to go off again, and now I think the fourth official's telling him, no, we've flagged you on, you go on now. The player's going to have to come off anyway. And meanwhile he gives a bottle of water to Jordan Cropper. But I think the point being that if the officials are doing their job now, then they're going to tell both players to come off. The referee's signalling on the physio to say come and check on John Lewis, who wants to stay on for the free kick, but he's not going to be allowed to, Christian, and you can see why.
Well, we had a briefing from a local referee actually up at Radio Lincolnshire in pre-season, and they said if a player goes down with a head injury and does as much as touch their head, the referee's been instructed now that they have to have an official on. It's that stringent, so no complaints whatsoever. I'm sure as soon as John Lewis realised he was okay, he was probably very hungry to be on for this free kick, but the referee's done exactly as he's instructed. Boston are going to be without John Lewis, so not a two-man advantage for this free kick with Claridge off as well, but the opportunity to load the box nonetheless, and all three of the centre halves will be in there. Yeah,
absolutely. Sloggett's going to take it. It's round about 30-35 yards out, just left of centre as we look towards the shots goal. In fact, the referee's told him to bring it in a little bit more central now, so he obviously wanted a bit of angle on it. It's not easy to lift a ball up and drop it down from there. Any history of him having a go from here, Christian?
Not that we've seen. He delivered a fantastic cross for the opener on Tuesday night, but that was much wider. I think he might try and knock this left to Dylan Hill, who's managed to find some space.
Yeah, they're certainly setting up for that option now. I wonder if it'll just put the thought in Sloggett's mind to have a go here. There's only one man in the wall. Sloggett has a go, and my goodness me, it's bouncing off the top of the roof of the East Bank. That's a long way, and a long way up. And I was right in that Sloggett thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go, but it might be a while, Steve, before he does so again.
Yeah, his set piece delivery in pre-season and in the National League Cup has been 100 times better than that. Deliveries have been really dangerous. A bit more shooting practice in training needed, I think.
Yeah, Aldershot take the goal kick. It's headed on backwards by Teal, headed away forward by Lancashire, and then Gandor does really well. Couldn't get a pass either way. Played it off the Boston player, and then Hargreaves carries it forward, loses it. Cushioned header from Tetek. Barrett battling away for it. Ball inside to Tetek. He's to the edge of the area. Tries a left foot shot wide. Don't blame him for shooting. Saw him score a wonderful curled, composed finish at Bad Shot Lee on the opening day of pre-season. It is another effort on goal from the Shots, their first for a while, but it remains Aldershot Town 0, Boston 1. Just bear with me before you come to you, Steve, because I think they might be coming to us on the radio for a half-time report shortly. So Tetek having a go there, and who could blame him? It kind of opened up for him, but just dragging his shot wide. Goal kick to Boston. And almost 5 of the 6 added minutes have elapsed. Strong jump from Nightingale, heads it away. Oh, ball's missed by the next header, potential header of the ball, Claridge, and the ball's been picked up by Boston. Richards is onto it, sends it back to Gris to Cropper. Cropper sends the cross in. Nightingale sends it forward. And ball's cleared away. Teal's going to send it back over the back line. It's flicked on by Boston and picked up by Dewhurst. Forgive me, listeners, just waiting for the cue to do a half-time report to radio. It won't be good news as it stands for the Woking reporter or the Shots reporter. Both sides trailing. Here's a ball round the corner, down the left side for the Shop, and it's closed for now. But it did open in the 9th minute. Then John Lewis put in Boston ahead. On this occasion, the flag comes up before he expends too much energy. Quick word, Steve, before they come to me on radio?
Yeah, good effort from Dayan. It sat up nicely for him, but just pulled it wide in the end. But big half-time team talk coming up from
ball falls loose. Sorry, Steve, to Ryan Hill on the edge of the penalty area. He turns away from goal rather than going towards it. But he's kept the ball and he's found Claridge. Claridge tries a shot from distance. That's on target as well. Low driven shot, and it's comfortably saved in the midriff by Reece Lovett, who by the time he takes this goal kick, we might be close to half time, and he will have a clean sheet at half time unless something happens in these final seconds of the half. Boston meanwhile have come to the other end, and they've fouled in the Aldershot left back position. So the 6 added minutes have elapsed here, but the whistle hasn't gone yet, and Dewhurst takes the free kick forward. It's headed down by Grist. Gandor battles for it, and a free kick is given against him, which will only stir up the feeling of annoyance of the Shots faithful with the referee in the first half. Sometimes we have to just call what we see, and don't think he's done an awful lot wrong for me. All sets of officials will get a few wrong, won't they, Steve? Just a quick word, because they are coming to me.
I think that one was borderline, but the referee didn't clearly get that wrong. It's not a clear and obvious error.
Absolutely. Here's Reece Lovett going to take this free kick out of his area. Surely that's it for the first half. Referee very relaxed, not looking at his watch. Little knockdown. John Lewis sends it round the corner. Meerholz gets there in front of Donnelly, clears forward, and now referee Ross Martin blows for half time. An eventful first half with 2 key moments going against the Shots. Linnell John Lewis, powerful bullet header past Dewhurst, putting Boston ahead in the 9th minute, and then the sending off on 27 minutes of Shot skipper Theo Widrington. Half time here at the EBB. Aldershot Town 0, Boston United 1. Exactly half time, well timed, Connor. Not been a good start at the EBB for the Shots in this first half. Long way to go, but they will be doing so in the second half, trailing by a goal to 0 and down to 10 men. The 2 key moments then of that first half. The first effort on goal at either end was a bullet header from Linnell John Lewis, who's got a terrific scoring record against the Shots at his previous club, York City. Didn't take him long to open his Boston United account. Bullet header past Dewhurst, no chance in the 9th minute. After that, a couple of half chances for the Shots midway through the half before Theo Widrington went into a challenge with a high foot, a little bit out of control, and the referee deemed after some consideration that it was a straight red. So the Shots are down to 10. They're 1-0 down as well. They've stayed in the game since then, to their credit, Connor, but it's a long way back from here for the Shots. Shots 0, Pilgrims 1. All right, one at a time. We'll get our thoughts at half time from our summarisers, my regular guest summariser. From an Aldershot Town perspective today, you can just talk about things, Steve, and then I'll go to Christian for Boston. Clearly not what the management team stood there in their little huddle by the dugout want. But what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's been frustrating, it's been disappointing. They've, to an extent, been the authors of their own downfall, not just in the red card, but you'd expect your team captain to lead by example and not be reckless like that, not be wild. not invite the referee to make a decision that could have a big impact on the whole afternoon. The shots have started poorly, came back into it, but have not really done enough to suggest that they deserve to even be level. I think Boston came out of the traps really quickly, deserved their lead. The shots restored parity to an extent, but haven't really created a chance as good as the one that Grist did for John Lewis, and that is why it's the Pilgrims who are ahead. Shots, big team talk for Tommy Widrington. They need to find a way back somehow from a scoreline and a numerical deficit that they haven't really shown that they've got in the first half. Boston have been strong and organised and fluid and creative, and in John Lewis and Donnelly they've got two strikers who individually and collectively look like dangerous at every opportunity, at every Boston attack. Aldershot Town need to be tighter in defence, make up a numerical disadvantage in midfield, and then look like they can get the better of this Boston defence going forward. None of those things I've seen in the first half.
Yeah,
it's going to take a big turnaround.
Yeah, it's going to take an awful lot. I think Aldershot's best hope is to stay in the game and nick a goal somewhere and try and get a point. Christian, just from a Boston point of view, we've already said it's gone pretty well. I mean, I guess from here on in, the perfect afternoon would look like what? At least one more goal to seal the deal and slow your heart rate down a little bit. And then probably the opportunity in the game for Coughlin, with the games coming up in mind, to rest the legs of one or two key players and get one or two more into the action.
Yeah, being greedy, you'd like to think Boston will be targeting an early second half goal. You're 2-0 up before the hour to make that dominance really count, and then you can look, particularly when we've got so many new faces on the bench. Let's have a look at Rocco Coyle. Let's give Geordie Hurula a go up front. Probably John Lewis a rest if it's 2-0 at 1, and having been so key, he's going to have to stay up there. But if Boston can give themselves that breathing space, there is the opportunity. It is a big if. I think if I was looking at it from an Aldershot point of view, your biggest threat has gone in that I felt when Boston had that dominant early period, the break was looking most likely, and you had two up against Boston's three centre-backs, because both of those wing-backs will push on. And when it was 2 against 3, it looked dangerous, but clearly that man's been withdrawn into midfield to take the gap Widrington's left behind, and that threat's gone. I think Mullins down this attacking right is key against a man in Lancashire who's naturally drifting inside into his usual left centre-back position, but it is a tough ask. It's a tough position to come back from, a goal down, but shooting towards that East Bank in the second half, if they make a good start, Boston may be a little bit shaky, a young side that aren't really used to each other. I think there may be a vulnerability there, but on the evidence we've seen so far, Boston have got to be strong favourites, and I'm sure their conversation will be something like, let's get that second, and then we can have a look at Coyle at Norkit, we can give John Lewis half an hour on the touchline, and go from there really.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Christian James, who, as I mentioned, if you were with us at the start of the commentary, is the PA announcer at Boston. He's Boston Stats on Twitter, full of stats. That's why we got him on our podcast NL full-time regularly as well. Steve, at some point, probably sooner rather than later, particularly as they're down to 10 men, Tommy's going to have to call upon his finishers. Looking at the shots bench today, Nash, Thomas, Anderson, Kiban Rai, Archie Taylor, Tristan Abrahams and Noah Watson. I think the obvious ones are at least one of Thomas or Abrahams at some point. Maybe another attacker on, or it might be in a straight swap for Gandor, who isn't fully fit. I was quite surprised he started today, and he's looked really mobile, and by all accounts has a little bit of an ongoing groin issue, so I don't think he'd go too far into the second half. But also perhaps a creative player. Might they look at an Archie Taylor or a Kiban Rai down this right hand side possibly, and in answering that, what do you make of Max Mullins' performance on the right side of the midfield today?
I think he's looked dangerous, as Christian has said. I don't think he's got the end product. I'm not sure that it's his best position. Archie Taylor I have really liked in what I've seen of him down the right hand side so far, defensively and attacking. I think in the continued absence of Ashley Akpan, I think he's a good option and maybe a more natural right-sided wing back. But yeah, I think at least one of Kwame Thomas and Tristan Abrahams needs to be introduced soon to give Aldershot Town an outlet, because Boston are putting pressure on, and Aldershot Town need to make it stick at the other end, which at the moment they're not really able to do. And you'd hope that Kwame Thomas as the physical target man, or Tristan Abraham as if he can turn a defence, he's got the pace and the power to really hurt a defence. It is though a long way back when you're a goal down and you're a man down against a team as hard working, as physical, aggressive and as fluid as Boston. I await to be proved wrong.
What Aldershot can't afford to do, Steve, is feel sorry for themselves, can they? Underneath the management of Tommy Widrington, no Aldershot team ever has. In whatever situation they've ever been in, they've always continued to battle gamely, and that might be one of their greatest friends and strengths in this second half.
Definitely, yeah. You can't think, oh, woe is us, the world's against us, the referee shouldn't have sent Theo off. You've got to come out believing that you're the better team and that individually you're better than your opposite number, and that is key to finding those fine margins when essentially you are matched up like for like. 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1. It's essentially 3 defenders, 4 midfielders and 3 attackers. You've got to win those individual battles, and that can go a long way to helping you come out on top. When the opposition have got another man, it is difficult, but if Josh Barrett can start finding space, if you can have the bravery to commit Cameron Hargreaves forward and his hard running, get Ryan Hill further forward to work his magic, there are ways for the Shots to get back into this. They need to be better and stronger and impose themselves more, because at the moment, to a large extent, Boston have been able to dictate this game. The Shots really need to wrest that back in their favour. As Christian rightly pointed out, if the East Bank get behind the team early in the second half, of course anything is possible, but it is a long way back.
It certainly is. Alright, we'll just take a breath until the teams come out for the second half, which won't be long, I'm sure. All 7 of the Aldershot Town substitutes have played a full part in the warm-up at half-time, and it's very rare that Tommy Widrington makes a half-time substitution anyway, so we'll see. Christian, can I just talk to you about the Boston bench? So Bobby Jones, Rocco Coyle, well, you run through it and just tell us the merits of those and who's likely to be called more quickly into the action.
So you can cut the bench into 2 parts really. Firstly, we've got the new arrivals over the summer, and then we've got Finley Ging and Billy Bradley, both defensive reinforcements that are very much more regularly involved with the youth team. So Boston will, with respect, be hoping they're not bringing those on unless it maybe is 3 or 4. We've got Rocco Coyle, who's on loan from Hull, touted as a winger but has largely played at wing back for the Pilgrims in pre-season. I've preferred him on the right hand side, but he's tended to play on the left given the injuries and the lack of cover we've got on that side of defence, and given we've seen the little niggle for Teal as well, I do wonder if he might be introduced at left wing back at some stage. Geordie Hawula signed in the week. His most recent club was Morecambe in the 23-24 season. He spent all of last year trying and failing to find a club on a various trial deals. He started on Tuesday night, played well. He scored a penalty when he was known as Trialist D in pre-season. He would be a likely Lennell John Lewis replacement. Bobby Jones is a goalkeeper that's been brought in from Curzon Ashton, and we've had our answer as to whether him or Lovett, both new arrivals, were going to be first choice. Clearly Lovett's got the nod. Manny Norkit, a forward who was once on the Man United books, come to us from Nottingham Forest, so his first real go at senior football after having a loan spell at Northern Premier League Gainsborough a couple of years ago. He's got a couple of assists to his name in the last week or so, and is probably that fourth forward really. And then Luca Alonzi is one that's just been floating up from the under-23s to the first team. Just the one substitute appearance for the senior side to his name. That came on the last day of the season at Maidenhead, but a forward that scored a lot of goals on loan at Quorn in Leicestershire last season. He's seen as a bit of legs up top, a bit of a wild card, and again, if Boston do find themselves in a comfortable position, it might be that Alonzi alongside Bradley get the chance to show what they've got in the National League.
Absolutely, thank you very much. Very thorough, Christian. We haven't had the attendance announced yet, but I think confidently say about 300 Boston fans. We'll confirm that number nearer or when the attendance is announced here. Still awaiting the teams for the second half, even though it's 6 minutes past 4 now. That's largely due to the 6 added minutes at the end of the first half, which turned out to be nearer 7. As it stands, Wednesday night's game between Aldershot Town and Eastleigh will be a battle between two clubs in the bottom 4 unless anything changes in the second half. Both sides lost their first game, both sides are trailing. Eastleigh by 2-0, Aldershot by 1 but down to 10. And Boston United have reappeared for the second half. It's going to go through a little bit of a warm-up. There's 6 just see one player that's not out there, but he's just having a chat with his manager, is Zach Mills. Still stood underneath the dugout, but going to make his way onto the pitch now. Smattering of applause for the Shots faithful. One thing's for sure, if the Shots are going to get anything out of this game, they're going to need to get more out of the players, and the supporters are going to have to play their part too. And I suppose, to twist a cliche, we need the Shot supporters to be the 11th man, Steve Gibbs.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I think it's a long way back, but who knows?
It starts with an Aldershot Town goal, I would say, at any point. They go 2-0 down, then you've got to be asking serious questions of Boston if they can't hold on to that. But just the one goal they lead by at the moment, Boston. Shots having lost Theo Widrington in the 27th minute to a straight red. And Boston will kick in the amber shirts and black shorts and amber socks towards the East Bank, the High Street end, in the second half. The Shots towards the East Bank end, aka the Lenovo East Bank end, and Hill repeats what Aldershot did in the first half and goes straight back to his keeper. Ball forward, headed on, flicked on by Linnell John Lewis, cleared away to the left by Tetek, into touch, and an immediate showing in their body language. Boston not in any rush to get things going here. Time is Boston United's friend. Cropper also has to wait for his centre-backs to get up there, because he's going to produce another one of those long throws. In it comes to the heart of the area, flicked on by the Shop and gathered by Marcus Dewhurst, and he's going to send it out to the left side, looking for Barrett, who cushions the ball back to Ryan Hill. Hill gets it under control, works inside, goes back to Mearholes. Ball forward, going to be chased by Gandor. He might get onto this inside the penalty area. He does, cuts back on his right foot and then loses the ball and fouls in doing so. It was a good ball, good run, good take, and then no qualms with the foul, Steve, by Hadi Gandor.
No, I think in his impetus, in his desire to get ahead of his marker, I think unfortunately he has committed a foul, but a really good ball down the left channel from Jed Meerholz, and Gandor did well with that hard running of his to get ahead of his man, who then did well to recover and win the foul. But yeah, positive signs at the start of the second half from Aldershot Town.
Good battle either end. Here comes a header from Mills, flicked on by Richards, volleyed forward by Claridge, out to the right side where Hadi Gandor is ever willing and makes the run, looks to square it inside to Barrett, takes the ball in, he's just hit it over on the volley. Lovely move, and a real positive sign for shots at the start of this second half. Good ball in from Gandor. Barrett running forward at pace, trying to control the ball and get his volley away. He does so just over 2 minutes into the second half. Shots 0, Pilgrims 1. Steve Gibbs.
Exactly the sort of start to the second half that the shots wanted. The East Banker sensing a comeback, possibly. They're in full voice again, and yeah, really good start to the second half. And Josh Barrett so very nearly, but now it's Donnelly down the right hand side.
He slips, gets back up again, plays the ball back to Cropper. Cross comes in, glancing headers almost away, and then Lancashire fires the ball first time from just outside the area, over the community stand, over the advertising hoardings, and into the trees. It's a little bit lower than the effort in the first half. A quick couple of hellos now. Colin Hayden in Tenerife, watching on DAZN. In his opinion, it was a red card, and Mike Brown is on holiday. He's trying to tune in. A few other comments from Mike about decisions there in the first half, and Gary Michael D as well says that it's ironic that Morecambe above Aldershot Town in the league, currently on 0 points and with a -2 goal difference. Yeah, all our best wishes, of course, to Morecambe. It looks as if a sale may go through in the next couple of days. They're certainly cutting it fine. They're due here, Steve, in 2 weeks' time.
On Bank Holiday Monday, yeah, in 10 days' time, and that may well be the first time that Morecambe graced the National League in many years.
In comes a ball from the left from Aldershot. It's headed away, or from Boston, sorry. It's cleared away. Barrett gets there. Grist has got it, finds Donnelly, he overruns it. Tetek clears up towards Hadi Gandor, who holds the ball up. Might have been being fouled, taken under control by Tetek. Ball inside from Barrett, who thought someone was there and they weren't. So it's been picked up by John Lewis, and he feeds Sloggett, and Boston will pick up the control of possession again. We're in the 50th minute. It's still shots 0, Boston 1. Nightingale gets there in front of Donnelly, clears it forward, only half cleared. Tetek's got it under control. Oh, lovely touch and controlled by Will Nightingale. Finds Hargreaves. Hargreaves plays it forward looking for Gandor, but that's easily cut out by Teal. And Boston will pick up again. Aldershot are going to have to be better with their passing. As long as they do it a couple of key times in the half, then they can get something from it. But at the moment, here's Meerholz just chasing the ball. He'll let it run. Grist will let it run, and it'll go behind for a goal kick to the shots. 50 minutes gone, and it is still 1-0 to Boston. And the shots, just a reminder, down to 10 men. First half sending off of their skipper on the day, Theo Widrington. Here's Aldershot building on the right hand side. Ball into the feet of Gandor, just inside the Boston half. He goes back to Hargreaves, who feeds Will Nightingale, and he'll send it out left here to Meerholz, who comes running past us in the media box and then lifts the ball over the top. That's asking a lot of Hadi Gandor, but he's a willing runner and he chases it and he threatens to get there, which is enough for Grist to put it into touch. Good afternoon to Ellie and Gina, who are tuned in. I think they're back from their holiday in Mallorca now. It must be. But thanks for listening, ladies, or ladies and daughter. Here's Hill picking up a back-heeled ball meant for touch by Cropper, and then Hill tries a trick which doesn't come off. Has the ball gone behind the goal for a corner? No, not given. And Aldershot keep possession with Barrett back to Tetek to Meerholz, and Aldershot doing quite well with the possession, bearing in mind it's 10 against 11, but you find yourself wanting and wondering what it would be like if it was still 11 against 11, don't you? But we have to accept it is what it is. They're down to 10. Nightingale feeds Claridge to Mullins, who can't take it under control. Hargreaves clips the ball forward, it'll bounce once, and Gandor's battling away with Reese Lovett gets the ball, goes down anyway for good measure, and either way the ball's in his possession. Doesn't really want a free kick. Goal kick's better, he can wander wherever he likes. Clears up towards halfway, and offside given by the referee, or foul? Must have been a foul.
Referee shot, yeah. I think he thought that John Lewis pushed one of the two Aldershot Town players.
Yeah.
He looked around in confusion, and I must admit I did too.
Always heavy touch and control by Hargreaves, has given it away. Hill's got it, plays it into John Lewis in the area. He finishes with aplomb. He's done it again. He scored again against Aldershot Town. He's doubled Boston's lead in the 53rd minute. Aldershot Town 0, Boston 2. Steve.
Well, it was a big hill before that. Now it's an absolute mountain. And unfortunately, Cameron Hargreaves has been mugged in midfield. Normally so reliable, but found wanting again. And it's that man, the shop, doing great business at the Ebb Stadium today. Gone a heck of a long way to giving those Boston fans over on the far side, the 3 points that they'll take back up to Lincolnshire. Aldershot Town had made a positive start to the second half, but now they've given themselves even more of a mountain to climb. It's good finish from John Lewis. Lethal couple of passes and Boston are in and they've scored, but again it's Aldershot Town, authors of their own downfall.
Here's Hill on the left side, good ball from Meerholz, cuts back on his right, sends a ball in, it's blocked, and it'll be cleared away by Boston. We'll get the thoughts of Christian James in just a minute on Boston's ever improving situation in this game. Ball forward from Boston, Nightingale heads it to Hargreaves, who under pressure there, he was outnumbered and trying to keep the ball and then find a pass. You have to feel for him. It's difficult circumstances out there, but ultimately, as much as there's sentiment there, it was a crucial error, and the second one in a few days for him, having scored an own goal in midweek. Here's Nightingale sending the ball out to the left. Boston heading into touch, and finally I can get the thoughts of what I'm sure is a very happy Christian James. 54.5 minutes gone, 2-0 up now and shots down to 10, looking good, just what you called for.
Absolutely, and Dylan Hill did very well, the man who's played in a more advanced role in pre-season, but
ball into the area, Haddigandor's in, and he scores! Slots it low, his first chance of the game, his first chance of course of the season, and he finished with aplomb, the same aplomb that prior to that Linnell John Lewis had, and it's the finish of a man who knows he's in form. Aldershot bursting through, clear through on goal for the first time in the game, and Haddigandor, Steve, makes no mistake.
Yeah, getting back on again, the shot so needed that to respond quickly, and brilliant from Josh Barrett to find Haddigandor. And then Gandor, you could see exactly what he was going to do. Opened his body, slotted it across Lovett. Donnelly's back in at the other end though.
Yeah, holding the ball up, back to goal, inside the penalty area. He's forced out, he's back in again. He's going to try a shot here, it's wide. Oh my goodness me, we've got drama, entertainment and goals here at EBB. Shock. Every week, Christian, it's like this. Not normally in this order, but for the second week running, the shots have been 2-0 down and come back to 2-1. And just as you were summing up how much better you felt and how comfortable you felt. You'll be feeling a little bit nervous now.
It's worse now. Aldershot have got one back. I was fairly happy at 1-0, but just felt Boston needed to get that second. And I was midway through saying Dylan Hill, not usually the man so advanced, but
they could be in again here, into the area. That's a heavy touch from Donnelly, and the ball is picked up by Dewhurst. And continue, Christian.
Hill played a fantastic ball in for John Lewis, very composed, took his time, didn't let John Lewis get himself offside, rolled it into his path, and then a man of John Lewis's experience at the levels he's played wasn't going to miss. Similar chance but a bit wider there. Hill the creator once more, but for Kieran Donnelly this time, his touch just let him down. Donnelly has very much been the junior partner, both in terms of age but also in terms of impact in this game. He had his moment there and he wasn't quite able to take it. So I'm back where I started at the half, really. Boston have been the better side. They just need that second, the lead doubler now as it is, not the second, to go into a much more comfortable mindset. They just switched off there, and a good finish from Gander past Lovett, who have been left rather exposed.
From an Aldershot Town point of view, I'm so pleased for Hadi Gandor. He works like a Trojan. He's had all sorts of injury problems, but he's worked his way back. He's had 2 loan spells at Farnborough, both of which he looked good, but the second one was ended early by that shoulder injury. And he's worked very hard in pre-season to get that start in place. He would have had it last week, but for just a little bit of a groin problem midweek, they left him out precautionary. 6 goals in pre-season, or 5 in pre-season, 1 National League Cup, and then 1 here today. Here's a ball into the area, the shots area, headed away by Claridge, and then Meerholz takes it down and lifts it forward. Gandor chases, but Mills has got it, sends it inside, gets the ball back from Sloggett. Aldershot Town always give you one thing, Steve, and that's hope. And yes, sometimes and quite often it's the hope that kills you, but they've at least got that hope. In comes the sweeping left-footed drive from Dylan Hill. Always, I think, Christian, going a little bit high and a little bit wide.
Yes, Dylan Hill, as I say, not a man known for his goal scoring or creating exploits. Just the 1 goal in what is now 2 and a smidgen of a season for the Pilgrims. 88 appearances, 1 goal and 5 assists now. But Marcus Dewhurst, the former Pilgrim in the shots goal, not unduly troubled by that one, and it remains 2-1.
Goal kick is taken by Dewhurst, flicked on by Tetek to Hill, who takes it down nicely. He's on this flank at the minute. Tetek's beaten one player, looks to play the ball into Gandor, but he's given it away, and this is where it can be so dangerous for shots. That's a poor ball from Richards all the way to Dewhurst, who's well out of his goal, and gets his feet in a bit of a muddle, but then clears it down the touchline. Claims of handball against Cropper. I don't think it was. Hargreaves looks to shut down Sloggett and then Richards, and we just hope that groin of Hadi Gandor is able to take him further and deeper into this game, Steve, because he looks in the mood. I don't know, he wasn't on the pitch for too long on Tuesday night, so all I know is I wasn't here, but I've seen 2 chances and 2 finishes, 2 goals.
Yeah, and he took the goal on Wednesday evening against Brighton under-21s really well. Superb poacher's finish, and if he's fit, then he does look in the mood.
There's a ball from Meerholz. It's a little bit, it was where he thought Hill was going, but Hill just feigned to go there and then came back, so he was wrong-footed on his heels. Hill acknowledges the idea. Looks like he's got a good pass in him from that left centre-back position, Meerholz. I know he's a very versatile player, probably more expected to play in the centre of midfield, but Shots have good numbers available there, and they don't at the back.
Exactly, yeah. I think there's so many square pegs in round holes at the moment, and where you've got the likes of Ryan Hill having to play wing back. I'm sure if everyone was fit, you'd have maybe Tyler Frost or Ryan Jones at left wing back, and then Hill could play in one of the number 10 roles, and Cameron Hargreaves slot back into central midfield. A couple of players return, and suddenly everything looks a bit more composed.
Oh, good turn from Donnelly. He's into the penalty. Oh, great tackle from Claridge. Brilliant from Donnelly, brilliant from Claridge. Boston have still got the ball on the edge of the area with Dylan Hill out to this right side with Cropper. Cropper gives it back to Hill. Tetek was interested, very nearly got onto it. The three players playing it around. Now the deep cross from Cropper. Dewhurst jumps, two-handed fist pump away, and Mullins is quick. He just about gets there in front of Lancashire, but Lancashire goes to ground, takes a little bit of Mullins and a lot of the ball. It's into touch, and the shots, of course, to those 2 goals in relatively quick succession are back, Steve, where they were at half-time. They're in a situation where the time's going to elapse. They've got to stay in the game, and at some point need to get the next goal of the game.
Yeah, but the one thing they've got now that they didn't have is a little bit of momentum, a little bit of belief. It was all a bit flat, a bit forlorn at 1-0 down, certainly at 2-0, and it was so vital that they responded really quickly. Otherwise, the team and the fans could have got despondent. Boston, though, respond with a double change.
Yeah, and you'd normally talk about that, but we'll let Christian do it today. Christian, take us through it.
Well, we've had the first one. It's Leonard John Lewis coming off for Manny Norkett.
No hat-trick for the shot.
Not this time. And I would be very surprised if it wasn't Kieran Donnelly coming off as well. So the front two being changed. They've been announced as probably the wrong way round. It's Haruda that's going to go in the John Lewis role, and then Norkett for Donnelly, the man to run off him. So fresh legs up top. Donnelly's had a couple of openings. The second one, though, he just took a little bit too much time, and maybe Southern Central football he's been playing, he can be that little bit more patient, but he just had to really grasp an opportunity. He didn't. A fantastic covering challenge thwarted him, and now Norkett's got the chance to try and put this game to bed for the Pilgrims.
Okay, and that's the end of the afternoon for Josh Barrett. He's going to be replaced by Kwame Thomas, and after comments in the week about the clash of styles today, Aldershot may well end this game trying to get themselves a point in fashion more accustomed to what at least Tommy Witherington was suggesting that Graham Coughlin might.
Yeah, Boston are not as direct as maybe they were last year. They certainly used that direct football to brilliant effect in the second half of last season. They played the percentages and it worked a treat.
Yeah,
Aldershot Town, though, with Kwame Thomas, the kitchen sink needs to be heading into the East Bank penalty area, and Gandor and Thomas need to wreak havoc against this Boston defence.
We're halfway through the 64th minute. The Shots therefore have 25 and a half minutes to try and nick themselves a point. Here's Kwame Thomas battling hard, getting the ball down, plays it down the left for Gandor to chase. He can't get there. Mills has won it. Handball against Geordie Hawula. That's his first ever contribution in a Boston shirt in the National League anyway. No complaints from him or Boston. Free kick is just inside the Aldershot half, as Meerholtz must know, and must know the officials are trying to tell him. Okay, we're in the 65th minute now. Shots 1, Boston 2. Goals galore always guaranteed here at the EBB. Here's Ryan Hill sending the ball inside to Tetek. Tetek clips a ball into the far post, and Zach Mills can just watch that and let it bounce, and his keeper can take it. I'm not quite sure who he was aiming for there, but no Aldershot player anywhere near it, Steve, and that's disappointing. You know, they're going to have to be as clinical as they can with any chances that come their way in this remaining 25 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah. You need to take your chances, make the most of the possession and territory that you're going to get, because Boston have proved they're dangerous enough on the counter-attack that if you're not certain, you will get picked off.
Meerholtz ball over the top, headed into touch by Grist. Taken by Hill, inside to Tetek. 1-2 there, didn't quite come off, but it finds Hill, ball forward, and Kwame Thomas says the ball came off of Grist. The officials agree. Ryan Hill gets the ball and throws it inside to Gandor. Stands on the ball, I think he might have done it deliberately, and then plays it into the path of Ryan Hill. Comes off of a Boston player into touch. Throw in taken by Hill up towards Kwame Thomas, holding the ball up. It bounces, ricochets away. Gandor steers it back into the path of Hill. Tetek turns 180 degrees, feeds Hargreaves. He won't overly dwell on the ball. He can't risk giving it away. Similarly again, out to Claridge, ball into the area. Kwame Thomas gets up. He can't win it cleanly. Croppers onto it, clears it away only as far as Meerholtz. Lovely first touch from him. Drags it down, feeds Tetek. Tetek to Ryan Hill, return pass towards Meerholz, plays it into the area, cut behind, corner to goal kick. Must have come back off Meerholz. Nobody's complaining, so again it's something we couldn't see down that end of the pitch. Goal kick to Boston, and Aldershot Town are going to make another substitution. And bearing in mind you saw him play on Tuesday night and I didn't, I'll let you talk us through it, Steve Gibbs.
Yes, the trialist whose identity was blown by the fact that he already had Watson on the back of his shirt, and the internet very quickly worked out that it was former Crystal Palace academy player Noah Watson, son of former Farnborough and Aldershot Town midfielder Steve Watson.
Yeah, I heard he. Well, I saw
Not
it.
the Newcastle Steve Watson, but the Aldershot Town, Farnborough and Stevenage Steve Watson. And yeah, I think he did well. It was unfortunate that he was involved in the second goal, in that he had a clash with Maxi Mullins on the halfway line, from which Brighton broke.
Ball lifted over the top, sorry Steve, from Hargreaves. It's cleared away, but Claridge is onto it. The shots are throwing a bit of caution to the wind here, and why not? It's what we'd expect, nothing less of them. Here's Ryan Hill trying to get away from Lancashire, but Lancashire's sticking to him like glue. He has to go back to Hargreaves. Noah Watson, by the way, his first touch in a shot shirt was to take the ball down, to win the ball with his head and clear it. Now he's taken the ball down and sent it inside. Yeah, I saw the comments on him being Steve Watson's son, and I've got to be honest, I thought, that's just a joke, and it wasn't. It is his son. Plays the ball forward now. He's got 100% pass completion in an Aldershot shirt, but he has only had 3 passes so far. Can he make it 4 now? Forward it goes. No, won by Boston, and that stat is over. But Aldershot have still won the ball. I'm just trying to double check who went off, Steve.
Maxi Mullins, he walked around the touchline.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I thought Meerholz was going off, but he wasn't. He's wandering into the left wing back position. Hill's gone to the right. Good battle in here from Noah Watson, up against his man, and he wins the ball clearly, just like his father did back in the day. Comes away with it, feeds Tetek. Tetek up to Gandor. Gandor, his touch has been exemplary all afternoon, but he looked to play it back and gave it straight to Boston. Boston now play it forward. Hill touches it back, Dillon that is, to Richards. Richards doesn't know where to go. Twist, turns 360 degrees and then gives it to Grist. And this current little snapshot of play from Boston, it almost captures the game for them, doesn't it? They've got the points in the bag, they're 2-1 up, but there's one little factor, 22 minutes left in the game. They're very passive in the game at the moment. They look like they just want to see it out. I don't know if, Christian, you'd agree with me. Of course, keeping the ball is a big way to do so. Here they come with an attack. Cropper needs shutting down. He hasn't been shut down. Meerholz prods a foot in inside the penalty area and wins it. And clears the ball forward. He's done really well there. Gandor battles. And he just gives a little shove to Richards that the referee sees as a foul. I can't disagree with it. Christian, finally I can come to you. So I was just saying, Boston momentarily at least were looking a little bit passive in the game, but they've still got to play the game out.
They have, and Aldershot aren't a team I'd want to try and see United try and play a last half an hour out against. I prefer to see the Pilgrims try and push for a third, especially if they get a set piece in a good position like this, the chance for Sloggett to make amends to that first half free kick. If there is any conversation still on the red card, I see Mark Halsey's actually commented on Twitter saying the challenge endangered the player's safety with excessive force. In my opinion, you cannot criticise the referee for that one. So there's a professional opinion for you.
Yeah, in comes the free kick from Sloggett, caught by Dewhurst. Yeah, I don't think we've had any ongoing debate, to be honest, but thank you for adding that to it. It's just the fact that we haven't really, unfortunately, got any corner that anyone's suggesting that there's any grounds for an appeal. I don't think there is, and of course we have to move on. Shots have moved on. They've done well, really. 10 men. They've played a fairly equal part in the game. They've done it the hard way as always, gone a further goal down, and now they're trying to come back. Trying to think which game. Yeah, 0-0 at Dagenham the last time Theo Widrington went sent off. They then went 3-0 down and lost the game 3-2, scoring twice with 10 men. Boston have got a player down now, and they're going to make another substitution. Talk us through who's injured and who's coming on, Christian James.
It's Jordan Cropper that's wanting a bit of attention, the right wing back, and
You avoided the cliche. You thought about saying it, didn't you?
Just tempted, and he's going to come off now. So yeah, just buying a little bit more time. He's going to turn around and applaud the strong travelling support. And Rocco Coyle's going to come on. I mentioned at half time he's a winger who's played more in that wing back role, given how Boston's set up during pre-season. He's largely played on the left because that's where we've been short, but the chance to play on his preferred right hand side now. Looking back at the goal that's got Aldershot back in it, and there's a very high offside line from Boston, and then it was Will Lancashire, the makeshift left wing back, who's dropped about 10 yards off, and Shots have done really, really well to exploit that, to spot it running behind. That's why there was so much space for Gander to finish. So an error that got Boston what we thought might be out of sight, and then an error's brought Aldershot back into the game. So I really do feel from our earlier conversation the Pilgrims need to try and find a third here.
Thank you very much, Christian James. Here's Noah Watson in possession, can't see a way forward, comes back to Nightingale. Nightingale comes over halfway, sends it inside to Tetek, who finds Hargreaves. Hargreaves finds Watson, ball into the feet of Kwame Thomas, back to goal, edge of the area. He goes back to Hargreaves. Aldershot keeping it well and knocking it around well. In comes the cross, it's flicked on by Gandor, headed away by Lancashire, headed on by Hill. Richards, I beg your pardon, Hiwula is chasing it, and the referee's given something against Tetek, a free kick and a yellow card. Something I couldn't see. Steve, could you?
No.
Christian, did you see anything? Christian, did you see anything?
No.
Okay, what we did see was Tetek shown a yellow card. Maybe it was dissent. Either way, it's killed the momentum in the game, and that'll suit the visitors, Boston United, aka the Pilgrims, who lead 2-1 here, the exact scoreline with which they came in whatever it was, April, midweek, and won. Admittedly, it was a period where they were in great form, and Aldershot were treading water towards the FA Trophy final. Aldershot have won a free kick here, 15-20 yards inside their own half. But so far, Tommy Widrington has not managed to get a point off Graham Coughlin, who wasn't in charge when the Shots got a point up at Boston. That was Ian Culverhouse at the time. Ball played forward, chested down by Kwame Thomas. Hill takes it, goes down, no foul given. Here's Hiwula holding the ball up. He's under pressure from Noah Watson. Watson gets a foot in and presses it forward, but only to the Boston player. Boston play it forward. Watson picks the ball up and then plays it out to Meerholz. Meerholz to Kwame Thomas, just holding the ball up, looking for an option inside. Finds Tetek. Tetek with an overlapping ball. Mills, who's come off his man Gandor. It's between two Boston defenders now on Gandor. It's not necessarily Mills all the time because of that extra man that they've got. Throw into the Shots. The supporters are getting behind them. Hadi Gandor's got them back into the game, and they've got just over 15 minutes to try and get something on the opening day of the season here at the EBB, at least the second Saturday of the season. We're going to see Tristan Abrahams shortly for Shots. I suspect that will be for Hadi Gandor, although he's still running pretty freely and not showing any ill effects of that groin problem. Here's Hill sending it inside to Tetek, edge of the area, and he shoots. It's on target but weak, and an easy save for Reece Lovett, Steve, but I'm not going to knock him for having a go. Aldershot have had a lot of the ball, passed it around, completed an awful lot of passes, but not created too much.
No, they haven't. It was definitely worth a go from Dayan, but didn't have the direction or the power to beat Lovett from that distance.
Okay,
now,
ball
Gandor
out to the right. Yeah,
tried to send Tetek has tried to send Gandor chasing in over the top in the right hand channel, but Boston defender was alert to it.
Here Watson thought about trying to bring the ball down on his chest, but he ran out of pitch. It's going to be a throw in to the Pilgrims. Coyle's going to take on the right hand side. They're not in any rush to do it. Some pointing suggests to him that Richards is the closest man unmarked. Richards goes back to Mills, who whacks it out to the left hand side, taken nicely by Lancashire. He's been shut down by Hill, but he manages to get his cross in. It's headed away by Will Nightingale. Headed forward by Boston, touched by Hill. Back to Sloggett. Sloggett, oh, wicked deflection. Sloggett shot, it ricocheted off the head of James Claridge. Completely wrong-footed. Marcus Dewhurst, and the Pilgrims have got themselves a third. Very unfortunate from Aldershot Town's point of view. I think Dewhurst would have had the shot covered, but for a wicked deflection. Greg Sloggett won't care. Aldershot Town 1, Boston United 3.
Yeah, it was, if you don't buy a ticket, you're not going to win the lottery, is the cliche here. Sloggett had a go. It was an opportunist shot, speculative shot, well hit, heading with great power towards Marcus Dewhurst, but I think the goalkeeper was behind it until Claridge half ducked at it, half put a leg up, and either his thigh or his head or his chest has got something on the end of it, and it's ricocheted past Marcus Dewhurst, and that's taken the air out of the Aldershot Town balloon.
Yeah, it certainly has. We'll get Christian's thoughts in just a while. Humdinger of a game going on at Carlisle, where they came back from 1-0 down to lead 2-1. They're now 3-2 up. Paddy Gandor is fouled. Aldershot want to take the free kick quickly, but now they are going to wait to get the centre-backs up. That includes the debutant Watson and the home debutant Nightingale and Claridge, who unfortunately has just scored at one end. Can he make quick amends? I think Sloggett will be given the goal because the shot was on target, but no doubt it was the deflection that beat Dewhurst. Still Christian James thoughts to come from a Boston perspective, but an early opportunity for shots to reduce the arrears as we reach the 78-minute mark. Referee, please, can we get on with the game? Thank you. In comes the free kick from Tetek. Headed back across goal, headed away, just off the front of his line by Greg Sloggett, who'll definitely be claiming that goal, won't he, Christian?
Yeah, I'll be claiming that. First goal for Boston, appearance number 12. You said what my thoughts. My first thought was don't concede straight away this time, and they might just from this.
In comes the corner from Tetek to the far post. Headed on and away by a Boston player. Hooked further clear by Hill, who jumps and heads it. That's going to roll into touch. You kind of quite fancied this situation going into the last 10 for shots, Steve. Had they been able to be still 2-1 and get Abrahams on, but Abrahams has been stood there waiting to get on since way before the goal. And another cross comes in. Half volley is just under the bar from Meerholtz and tipped behind by Lovett. Excellent athleticism and effort on goal from Meerholtz. Behind for another corner. Very quick word, Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, it was speculative, almost apologetic from Meerholtz. Seemed like to be drifting harmlessly over the bar, and then it wasn't.
In it comes to the far post. Thomas goes down. Some claims, nothing given. Hooked back across the goal. Corner or penalty? Corner is given. Blatant cry for handball from the entire East Bank. And I'm sorry, listeners, but we won't have a clue from here. Anybody think they saw a handball?
Yeah, I think it was a shot on the turn, and I mean it might have been optimistic from the shots, but it certainly crashes off something, off someone, and there was enough shots players appealing that you think there must be something in it.
Cross, corner comes in, headed across and then down and then wide. Thomas got there, headed it across goal. Claridge headed it down and wide. I think the referee might have blown for a free kick anyway. It matters not. It'll be a set piece restart for Boston away to our left. And Christian, I think you're going to have it all really, aren't you? You're going to get the win, you're going to get at least 3 goals, you're going to have seen a wildly entertaining game, a red card. 237 Boston fans. I thought it was going to be nearer the 300, slightly lower than you thought as well, but very happy 237.
Absolutely, largely on that open terrace in the corner. 3 coaches coming down through plenty of traffic today, and at the minute they're going home with 3 goals and 3 points. Sloggett very fortunate, as you've said, with the deflection, but no one really closed him down, and Boston once or twice have given Barrett the opportunity to have a look at goal from a similar area. He wasn't able to produce a bit of classic Barrett magic that even us in Lincolnshire are aware of, and this time it's Sloggett at the EBB that's done it instead, and hopefully this time the Pilgrims can settle and see out what will likely still be a good 15 minutes without further incident.
Yeah, technically 9 left, but bound to be more added on. Hargreaves plays it on, Tetek heads it on, Meerholz helps it on, it's headed away, Richards heads it away only as far as Hargreaves, he's lost it, and he blatantly grabs the leg of the Boston player, and isn't he? Oh, I thought he was on a yellow card, maybe he isn't, Hargreaves. Referee's got to show a yellow card, he does, to Cameron Hargreaves. Desperate stuff now. I was thinking something had already happened to Hargreaves, but of course it was giving the ball away for the goal, wasn't it? 81 and a half gone, and a third, 2 yellows and a red for the shots this afternoon. In fact, 3 yellows and a red.
Yes, 3 yellows and a red, and yeah, if the shots can get something out of this, they'll be doing well, and it will almost feel like a win, because from this far back they did well to score immediately having gone 2 down, but it's an unfortunate moment for it to deflect off James Claridge. But yeah, I think Boston, for all of Aldershot Town's self-inflicted problems, I think Boston have been the better team.
Well, we mentioned throwing the kitchen sink in when Thomas came on, but Aldershot Down are going to throw every sink they can find in now. Kiban Rai is coming on for his home National League debut. Tristan Abrahams the same, and Archie Taylor as well. So players going off: Cameron Hargreaves on his yellow card, Ryan Hill, and presumably Hadi Gandor, but we'll wait for confirmation of that. Jed Meerholz. Well, there you go. Tommy Widrington's going to finish this game with Hadi Gandor, Tristan Abrahams and Kwame Thomas all on with 10 men. And I don't think nothing says Tommy Widrington more than that. One substitution, Christian, for Boston. Just take us through that last one.
Well, it's youth or experience. Zach Mills, who went down there, forcing the stopping play, the captain, and the key organising influence in the back line, really, he's gone off. And young Billy Bradley's come on to play left-sided defence. So that's going to put Lancashire, who had dropped off the offside trap for the shots goal, he's slotted into a more comfortable centre-half position. Bradley's going to be the right side of what I'm sure will become a deeper and deeper 5.
Here's Boston on the edge of the Aldershot Town penalty area, picking the ball up with Dylan Hill. Ball forward for Sloggett, who's holding the ball up, and I think he's got the armband on as well now. He's got an armband on of sorts. Yeah, he has indeed, with Mills going off. And it's a throw in now to Boston, taken by another one of the substitutes, but they've given it away. Tetek's back there, plays it off of Hill, throw into Aldershot in the left back position. Boston have got Aldershot way down at the other end in front of their own goal, and that's where they want to keep them, Steve, isn't it? But
it is. It's all about game management now, but certainly the shots will not die wondering.
Nah.
As you say, with Gandor, with Thomas, with Abrahams, with Rai, who's very attack-minded. It's essentially a back 3 and Tetek, and then everyone else is looking to get into the box.
Got to be huge potential here for Boston to get a fourth. So many changes for the shots. A man down as well. Here's Coyle going to send the ball in from the right, headed away by Archie Taylor. Claridge, beg your pardon. Picked up. Shots coming in over the bar from the number 27 for Boston United. Manny Norkett won the ball back nicely on the edge of the area and then tried the curler, but always too high, always too wide. We've got just 5 added minutes, or 5 minutes left plus whatever's added, and goal kick taken by Marcus Dewhurst. Steve, we average 4 goals a game here at the EBB, and we're bang on average at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's the best positive spin you can put on this afternoon from an Aldershot Town perspective. Boston have been the better team, but also Aldershot Town once again shooting themselves in the foot, as they did on Wednesday night against Brighton with the own goal and the defensive mix-up that that suddenly turned the game around in the Seagulls' favour, and makes Wednesday night against Eastleigh. You can't say it's a 6-pointer early in the season or a relegation scrap or whatever.
It's going to have plenty on it. Hampshire derby.
Yeah,
not a great feeling between the two sides, who have both now over-celebrated after a victory in the last year.
Yeah, and it just, if you lose your opening 2 National League games, it does put more pressure on you to suddenly not make it 3 losses out of 3 and to get some, particularly from your home game. Eastleigh will be under pressure, as you said. Kelvin Davis will be under pressure, but they will be able to come here and think, well, we're not expected to get anything, and the pressure is all on the shots at home.
There's potentially a handball from Abrahams, not given. Richards wrestles the possession, feeds Coyle. One in the air by Watson. Offside's given against Hiwula. I have received some messages from people probably hitting out a little bit. I'm not going to make things any worse than they are. There's a few strong opinions around about obvious things and people. But one of the more recent ones, I didn't hear you say it, so maybe you can qualify, but Paul Bertie Reynolds says Steve's found the word of the day there, mugged, 100%. I can't remember in what context you used it, to be honest. So
I mean, I can't either, but if I used it, then I'm I'm glad that I was able to find the right word. But yeah, I think that's it, and that's not to do Boston a disservice. That's not to denigrate the qualities that they've shown this afternoon. And if they do go on to see out this victory, they will thoroughly deserve it.
And if they
have been the better team. They've had the discipline and the quality and everything that you need to win a National League football match, and Aldershot Town have been patchy, sporadic at best.
Here's Thomas heading the ball inside to Abrahams. He plays it back to Noah Watson. Deep cross from him. Gandor will jump. There's a little bit of a flick on. Archie Taylor's up there down by the byline. Clips it back in. Volleyed effort! Tristan Abrahams opens his Aldershot Town account. And Boston United might still have a nervy finish here. Lovely, simple play.
In the 89th minute, number 30, Tristan Abrahams.
An assist for Archie Taylor. A low, crisp finish from Tristan Abrahams, who's made it look extremely easy. And it is Aldershot Town 2, Boston United 3.
Well, is this game done and dusted yet or not? Somehow, the shots are making, and this was probably the least, or even the most that we could have expected from them, to make a grandstand finish, but a grandstand finish we now have on our hands, and who knows, they could they?
Well, at the moment Boston are on the attack. Jeff Sperry's messaged in, and this is the only opinion I've seen, but he said, I've seen the footage and I don't think it's never a red. Theo clearly arrives first and kicks the ball up. I can't see the problem. Jeff, I've not seen the replay. We all gave our honest opinions at the time. Like I said, I'm not going to... We've got potentially a grandstand finish here. Let's focus on that. We're in the 90th minute. We don't know how long it's going to be added. Flick on from Thomas. Knocked down by Gandor. Turns. He's being pulled, but he manages to steer the ball out to the right to Archie Taylor. Cross comes in. It's past everybody other than Coyle, who picks it up for Boston. You say they can't do it, can they? There's going to be 6 added minutes. I always say now, at some point in this 6 minutes, Aldershot are going to have a chance. Will Boston have put it further to bed before then? Gandor makes a 40-60. Thomas threads it into his pass, sends a ball into the air. It's a weak ball, it's a tired ball, and who can blame him? He's given everything for the cause today. Paddy Gandor. Boston have got it. They sent it out to the left hand side. Good first touch from Hiwula. Cuts inside. Aldershot have now got bodies back. Shots 2, Boston 3. In the first of a minimum of 6 added minutes. Christian's got the microphone in his hand. I'll dare to go to him when I can. Ball over the top, is going to run out of play. It's going to be an Aldershot Town goal kick. Kristen, share with us your thoughts.
It's too much to ask, isn't it, Boston, just to roll this across the back line for 3 or 4 minutes now. The game's had very little control for either side. It's been end-to-end stuff. We had a previous manager at Boston in Culverhouse that described games like this as basketball matches, and that suits the Shots now. It's going to be a nervous few minutes for the Pilgrims, and if they don't take 3 points from here, they're going to have some serious questions to ask, because they've been so good in that first half. Twice they've put themselves 2-0 ahead, twice they've let the shots back in, completely unmarked on this occasion, preventable I dare say, and now they've got to work really hard in these last 4 or 5 minutes, probably pick up a booking or two in situations like this with throw-ins, and a second ball comes onto the pitch from that away end. They're trying to do everything they can, probably a little bit to the extreme, but no, it's going to be a big ask again, and Boston should have been safe really. Just when they felt comfortable, they've been reined back in, and they've got a lot of work to do.
Taylor's won the ball from the Boston throw. Gandor's chased it down by the corner flag. He's rampaging inside. He tries an early cross. That's cleared away, directly left by Boston, and then finds a Boston player. Now Huwula's got it, and then a free kick given away by Will Nightingale. And another opportunity, to be quite frank about it, and I've got no problem with this, Christian, for Boston to waste another 30 seconds of the remaining just under 4 minutes. Sadly, Steve, at the start of the season, I've witnessed 2 very entertaining games. They both had 5 goals, and it looks like the Shots are going to lose them both 3-2.
Yeah, again, there's positive elements to the Aldershot Town performance. To some extent you're clutching at straws to find them, but the spirit that they've shown in coming back in adversity, in shooting themselves in the foot a couple of times, and they're still in this game in the 100th minute, as it will be, including first half stoppage time as well.
Boston in possession on the left side. Aldershot poke it into touch through the debutant, who's assisted within a few minutes of his first appearance in a National League game. First yellow card, as Christian hinted at, has come to Huwula, who, if he's been involved in 4 moments since he come on, 3 of them have been quite negative against him, haven't they? But I'm sure there's more to come from him for Huwula this season. Referee's kept up his average for the season. There was 6 yellow cards, a red to go with it this week as well. Just to confirm, and by the way, we weren't hinting at anything different, I just couldn't remember. Greg Thorne, it says Steve used the word mugged in the context of Cameron Hargreaves being mugged possession for Boston's 3rd goal. Nothing else being insinuated there at all. Boston have got the ball on the left side. They get it in a little bit of confusion between them. Archie Taylor plays it forward. Sloggett will be onto it. Thomas is there searching for it. Boston just have to find the additional player. They find him at the moment with Grist on the right hand side. He's now got Watson for company. Watson's gone in and won it, and then he plays it off the Boston player. And if one young player has endeared himself into the hearts of the Shot supporters quickly, it is that man, is Will Nightingale. He's really impressed me as well, actually, in the 1.5 games to date. Noah Watson lifts the ball over the top. Gandor and Thomas jump. The ball ends up with Taylor on the far side. Everybody goes towards the box. In it comes again. Headed across. Follow-up shot from Tetek. Hits the body. Comes out again. Gandor's pulled down, is he? Nothing given. Abraham sends it across. Appeals for handball. Not given. Abraham pulls it back. Mearholt sends it in. It's cleared away. Was it a pull? Was it a handball? No. Watson sends another ball into the area. Thomas goes up. Is he fouled? The ball's in the net, but it's been given a free kick the other way. And nothing is going decision-wise Aldershot Town's way. I can understand all the appeals. Ultimately, it's a free kick to Boston. And as Aldershot put the ball in the net, I'm not even sure who it was that put it in the net, Steve.
I think it was Kibben Rye. Yeah, I mean, Kwame Thomas was doing what Kwame Thomas does, throwing himself around inside the penalty area. If that was considered the foul, I think that's a little bit harsh. I think Reece Lovett has got away with one there, but there were bodies all over the place, flying in gold shirts and red shirts. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it was cancelled out, but I think it was a little bit harsh.
It is hard to take. It's an emotive game, football. 3 potential penalty moments for Aldershot in 30 seconds, and then a free kick to Boston. I can't honestly say hand on my heart any of them were clear cut. It's chaotic, there's bodies everywhere, but crucially nothing was given. Tetek sends the ball out here to Watson. He volleys it forward, and the referee blows 19 seconds after the 6 added minutes have elapsed. Boston have won the game by 3 goals to 2. I need to go and lay down in a darkened room. Let's let the first word go to the victorious Christian James and Boston. Give Steve a little bit of an opportunity to calm down. Shots 2, Boston 3. Christian.
Well, that's the sort of contest that we come to expect coming here to Aldershot. We didn't get it last year, but what an entertaining spectacle. The Pilgrims, I feel, deservedly have come out on the end of it, but you can see there's a spirit here at Aldershot that you don't see in many other sides, so just keep going. They'll feel hard done by there. I think breaking those incidents down, for me, the pull initially, I was worried. The handball, very close quarters if it was a hand, and let's assume it was, given the reaction from the East Bank there, and then the protection that goalkeepers are afforded nowadays. Love it, jumping through a crowd of bodies over the top. His legs were taken from underneath him, probably because he had advanced over a crowded area, but despite the fact that Dewhurst didn't get that protection on a couple of occasions in the first half, I think at a crucial juncture in the game in the direction it's gone in terms of protecting goalkeepers, Boston would have felt twice as aggrieved if that goal had been given. But I can understand, with the whole thing baked in, why Aldershot will feel hard done by on the balance of the decisions. They've contributed to a fantastic spectacle, but given the result last week as well, I'm sure they'd rather have taken a nice easy 1-0 win. As it is, we've been thoroughly entertained here. A good start for Boston. I worried with a couple of pre-season games left how they were going to score goals. Well, that's 3 today, 6 in their 2 National League Cup games, and the Pilgrims will go home very, very happy, albeit concerned at the nature of the 2 goals they conceded.
Thank you very much, Christian, for your insight today. Congratulations to Boston. I'm trying to speak over the boos here for the officials. I'm going to come to Steve in just a second, but congratulations to Boston on the win, and whatever position it is, the highest position in the recent history of the club. So much happened in those final seconds. I'm going to pin my hopes for Aldershot, and they're not hopes anymore, on the first, Steve, of those 3. The one thing I could clearly see with my own eyes was Hadi Gandor going backwards with a hand pulling his shirt. Thank you very much, Connor. Sorry, we've had a really chaotic ending here to a magnificent spectacle at the EBB. I can't do it justice in a minute or 2, but I'll try. Boston led in the first half with a goal after 9 minutes from Linnell John Lewis. Then Aldershot had Theo Widrington sent off for an out of control challenge on 27 minutes. That was the scoreline at half time. Boston duly doubled their lead 7 minutes into the second half through Linnell John Lewis, and then shots got back into it with a lovely calm composed finish from Hadi Gandor. Just as Aldershot were pushing with their 10 men to get level, Sloggett let fly at the goal. We think Dewhurst had it covered, but it ricocheted off the head of James Claridge and went in. 3-1 Bolton. Were the shots done? Of course they weren't. They went again. Meerholtz had a shot tipped over the bar for a corner. Moments later they got back into it again. Archie Taylor sending it across the goal, and Tristan Abrahams on as a sub, scoring to make it 3-2. Into 6 crazy added minutes, and in the 6th of all of them, Aldershot had 3 appeals for a penalty in 1 attack. None were given, and then eventually the referee blew the final whistle. Chaos here at the EBB. Goals galore as always. Aldershot Town's second 5-goal thriller of the opening 2 games, and sadly, Connor, they've lost them both 3-2. Yes, we are entertained, but the Shots still await their first point of the season.